go. Alright, good day viewers, and you're welcome to another All-E interview. And today we have the prolific Issa Ozo, social media guru, social media analyst. A lot of people know him in Abuja, and if you don't know him, you're privileged to meet the face behind Abuja Facts. So without further ado, we'd like him to jump in and to introduce himself and tell us how all this started for him. So over to you.
Thank you. My name is Issa Ozovehe Mustapha. I'm from Kogi State, and I've been in Abuja for about 8 years now, and it's been awesome. You know, how the whole Abuja Fact thing came about was sometime in 2010, when, you know, the whole social media thing wasn't that strong. You know, there were just a relative percentage of people who were on the social media who were making use of it effectively. So we decided to jump in. I decided to jump in too, because there were so many things going on there. I was addicted to the internet, and I thought there could be a way I could do something with it. I could add value to life. Now, it had to do with what I was interested in, or what caught my fancy. And Abuja was one city I was passionate about. Though I wasn't here for that long, as at 2010, I was barely just 3 years in Abuja as at 2010. So I just thought the fact that I could, you know, give some basic information about the city. So what I started doing was to leverage on the social media, because I wanted it to go far. I wanted it on TV, I wanted it on radio, but I knew social media was a platform I could leverage on because it was at almost no cost. All I needed was a smartphone and a data package to go with it. So I opened a Gmail, which is abujafacts@gmail.com. I decided to open the Twitter, the Facebook, and as well the Instagram profile. But for a start, you know, the Twitter was very strong, and
I was about to say that.
Yeah. So the Twitter was very strong, and then there are people we call influencers. These are people who are already big on the social media, and one of them was Omojua, and the other person was Erufai, and then a few other, you know, personalities on the social media. So when I started tweeting about Abuja, Erufai, as a former FCT minister, he saw some of the things, some of the information we put out there on the platform, and he was interested. So what he did was to retweet, and this exposed the platform to a wider audience. And before you know it, within a week, we grew over 5,000 followers.
Wow.
Within the first week of opening Abuja Facts, we had 5,000 followers. You know, people like Omojua too supported, and then the audience, you know, grew over time. So what we tried to do to keep the audience there was to stick to that information which they were interested in from the beginning. You know, giving them factual information about the city, telling them what is happening, where it is happening, and why it is happening. You know, and what we decided to do again was to, you know, start discussing the lifestyle in this city, places. For instance, you're looking to, you know, rent a place, and then you have specifics. You know, we'll help you, you know, with information as regards that also. Then what we also tried to do was to promote businesses. You know, initially we never thought we could make money from this. You know, we were just doing it, like they say, we're doing it out of, you know, passion. But it was more like the passion translated into a money-making venture. I was surprised on a certain day when someone asked me, how much would it cost for us to have our business on your platform? And then I began to talk to myself. I was like, for real? So I can even get paid for this? So it was mind-blowing. But I didn't know how to charge then, so, you know, it was quite meager, but it covered the cost of data, the cost of transportation, because we needed to move to places to get information. For instance, we were going to the FCT Archive and History Office almost on a monthly basis. because we couldn't get access, every week, every 2 weeks and all that. So we're getting the access on a monthly basis. We're making sure that we're at events happening in the city. So
and you need to transport yourself to for all this.
Exactly.
You mentioning Twitter.
Yes.
Reminds me of how we met on Twitter back then and the good old days of Twitter. Now I want to ask you, what do you miss most about the innocent days Twitter? Because now Twitter is all about social media. Everyone is being serious on Twitter, trying to make money. You retweet me, your tailor might be on your TL. What do you miss most about the old Twitter that was just there, people just having fun, not knowing that you could use it to make money? What do you miss most about the old Twitter?
What I miss most actually was how real we were then. People came on this platform with who they really are. We had real discussions about who we are, what we intend to do. We discussed about what the country, how the country can develop. We discussed about how we get to create networks of people. Before the whole business thing came, business took over, and then now people just come with fake identities on the social media, and you don't really know who they are. You only believe what they tell you, or what they tweet.
And now whoever is following you on Instagram, Snapchat knows how busy you are. Day to day, you are there, you are here. Tell me, what are some of your most memorable projects? Some project that you've worked on that you can never forget, that you enjoyed. Like, can you name maybe your top 3 most memorable projects that you've worked on ever since you started Abuja Facts? Most memorable, whether you collaborated with somebody or you did it alone. Just let's know, because your Snapchat is busy. It's longer than Kim Kardashian's and keeping up with that.
As regards the project we've worked on over time, I think it's hard to do with. First thing, it's not exactly a project. What we tried to do then was to see how we can bring in more businesses on the social media. So what we're doing was to help some businesses manage their social media profiles, to a certain success level. So that's one of it. And again, what we worked on was that was quite memorable, was doing a radio show. We were on WeFM. We were on WeFM at a point. We were on Nigerian Info. So it was an every Friday thing. So basically, we try to address issues that are affecting Abuja as a city and its residents.
Cool.
All right. So that's the second one, and the third one that has been, quite memorable, that we did at a point. You would say I'm a food lover, but I mean, I'll tell you to say it again.
All right.
We did this project about, trying to know the kind of foods offered by different restaurants, who offers the best and who gives the best prices. Then exactly. So what we started with was to, the whole shawarma thing. When people say, Abuja people love shawarma, especially the young girls, in this city. So what we started with was the shawarma aspect of it. Then we moved to the real dishes, both local and intercontinental. We moved to the Tushed, restaurants. We went to the local bookers and all that. So, that was quite memorable because we're able to tell the differences. So now when people come on our platforms and they say, I'm looking for a Chinese restaurant, we already have an idea of where they can get the best. When people come and they say, I need an amala joint to go to, we already have an idea of where they can go to. So it was quite a memorable one. But we also have another project which has taken our time, but we hope that when it comes out, it comes big. So you all can anticipate for that.
Now, if you're in Abuja, you live in Abuja, you're on social media, you must have seen the hashtag Explore Bauchi, which has created a lot of talks. How did you get involved in the whole Explore Bauchi thing? Was it your thing or did you collaborate? How did it come about? How did you go about it? How did you guys make it a success?
Like they say, two good heads are better than one. I won't just say two heads. There might be two bad heads, you know. It was a collaborative project. You know, Abuja Facts is a digital tourism platform. So what we tried to do was to promote Abuja digitally. Tell people what we have in this city, what they can do here. And then we tried to now expand to some other states. So what we tried to do was to take people from Abuja city to other tourist attractions in Nigeria. You know, they call us Abuja Facts, so we didn't want to, you know, go outside the whole, you know, Abuja thing. So what we did was to take Abuja residents to other tourist attractions in the country. So the first point of call we did then was Gurara Waterfalls. We organized a series of tours to Gurara Waterfalls. Then secondly, we did Obudu Katora and Chatter Point, and then we did Kajuru Castle. Then the Explore Bauchi thing. Yankari has always been in my mind. I have always wanted to organize something there, but you know, the whole logistics thing, you know, it keeps, you know, making you postpone, you know, delay and all that. Then Velcruz, that's Usman Abdul Hamid, he came to me. He's from Bauchi State.
All right.
So he came to me at a point and he said, "You are in the tourism sector. We've seen what you have done in terms of tourism. And now I am thinking we could do something in my state, which is Bauchi State. You know, Yankari is there." And I told him, you know, Yankari has actually been a place I have always wanted to go to. So I am even happy that you are bringing this to the fore. So what we did was to, you know, bring in my own experience in terms of tourism. And what he did on his own aspect was to make sure that we were grounded. You know, he knew people in Bauchi. So what we did was to do our groundwork there to see that we solicit all the whole support we needed at a point. And we got the whole support we needed. You know, from the state government, from the Yankari management, we met the sole administrator, we met commissioners, we met House of Assembly members who you know, gave us the support we needed. So at that point, we knew it was going to be a success, even before it commenced.
And I know you've been involved with, I can't even start counting them, a lot of projects. Today you are with Glow, tomorrow you are with this person. I want to ask, what is your biggest star moment? Who have you met that you've been starstruck? Let's say a politician, an artist. Who is that person that you've met and you're like,
oh my God, is this me meeting this person?
Exactly. So can you just tell us who is that person?
I think the first person I was actually impressed and I was very happy to meet was Governor El-Rufai. Then at a point we had this social media gathering with the vice president. And again, you know, one person I have always admired was Mr. Waziri Adio, who is the executive secretary of NEITI. NEITI, that's the Nigerian Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative. You know, he's one person I actually look up to. So I was very happy to have been, you know, involved with him. So I think that to an extent, you know, exposed me. And at a point when NEITI was doing a workshop, it was shown on NTA, it was shown on AIT, and then people from my village started calling like, we saw you on TV, we saw you on TV.
Hammer.
Like, everybody felt, see, I had to start ignoring calls. I had to start, you know, ignoring WhatsApp messages because there was no way I could reply. You start seeing people, you know, talk about how big you have become.
That brings me to my next question also. People see you on social media, they see you balling, we see you chilling. Can someone actually survive on just social media work? Like, do you have any work you're doing outside social media that's bringing you money, or is it purely social media? Because so people don't get, you know, carried away. Just like YouTube, everyone thinks they can make money on YouTube. So the same way social media. How do you do all these things? Are you that rich? Tell us so we know. Is social media really profitable, or do you have something else you're doing by the side?
I would say you said, am I that rich? No, I'm just an average Nigerian, you know, trying to survive too in this country of ours. And I would say social media is something that you can survive on.
All right.
That's if you do your homework well. I don't do any other thing aside from social media. And for the past 5 years since I've been doing this professionally, it has paid my dues.
Cool.
And I've been living comfortably ever since.
Cool. What is your advice for people who want to go into social media now? Because everybody wants to go into social media. That's the in thing. People are in school, we just want to make extra bucks, want to go into social media. What is your advice right now? What is your advice right now for anybody trying to go into social media? What's your advice for us?
Now people are wiser and people are even more on the social media. So there are more people on the social media and there are more competition. So what you need to do first is to think of something unique. Something different. It might not be entirely different, but it should be different from what is already being done. You understand? You might not be the first to do something, but you can come from a different angle and you can make it from there. So you need to just make sure that you do something unique. And if you are getting on it, make sure that you are consistent. Consistency is one thing that can lead to success. It might not be smooth or fresh at the beginning, but once you're consistent with it, it gets to a point that you begin to see, like, for real, I didn't know it could get here. When we started the whole Abuja Fact thing, I never thought it could get to this point. At this point, I have never paid to attend any showbiz in Abuja here. Yeah. So even before the shows or the events, we start getting calls of how many tickets they want to give to us for us to give them our support. You understand? So you get recognized if you do things right and you're consistent.
What will you say is your biggest challenge right now? What is your biggest challenge? What are you facing most? Let's say there's someone out there who wants to support you. What is your biggest challenge that you need to solve?
Like it has been everywhere in Nigeria, there are more things that we want to do, and we've been, cut short by lack of funds. You understand? Now you want to get on radio, you want to get on TV, but you don't have the necessary fund, and you don't expect them to do this totally free for you. And we know how much airtime costs. So I would say funding is one. And then I would say sourcing for information. And everything just leads to, because once you have the funds, every other thing can be taken care of.
You can easily get it.
Yeah, so I think funding is just the major challenge. Yeah.
Yes. Right now, the social media thing is booming, as we rightly said. And people are creating more apps every day. There's this talk of I have too many apps on my phone. If you were to delete all the applications on your phone and leave one, which one are you going to leave?
At this point, if I have to leave one app on my phone, it's definitely going to be Twitter.
Why?
Because it has been, the biggest platform Abuja Facts have leveraged on. We are on every other platform, but I can tell you that more than 70% of our income comes from Twitter.
Do you think Snapchat will die? Do you think it will eventually cease to exist?
I think to an extent it will.
Give me a time frame. When do you think Snapchat will die? No, based on your social media activity, just because To Go also died, we'll come to Go.
Yeah.
I want to know, tell me, Snapchat.
Saying it died means no, people still use it. It's just that it's quite on a minimal level. You understand?
No, I mean for Snapchat. Like, when do you think it will stop? Like, people, it won't be cool anymore for teenagers, for adults to use it. Like,
let's say give or take 5 years from now. That's if it's even going to be up to 5 years, because I'm actually looking at 3 years from now. Because to a certain extent, when Snapchat came on board, I was addicted. I was doing, like, every of my activities were on Snapchat. But now it has to be a special occasion before I get on Snapchat.
All right. Before we go, I'd like to ask you one very tricky question.
Okay.
It might not be tricky. It's easy. A lot of people have like a direct answer to it.
Okay.
But whenever I talk to people, I just love to know
Okay.
Pepsi or Coke.
Coke.
Are you a Pepsi person or a Coke person?
I'm a Coke person.
Why?
I don't know. I wouldn't say,
Can you tell the
but
difference between Coke and Pepsi?
they're all the same. It's just that Coke has.
Packaging. So now you're saying so Coke is just there. All right.
Yeah.
We've come to the end of our show. For those of you who don't know him, this is Issa Ozo once again. If you need to follow him on social media, his social media accounts will be down for you. And you
Yeah,
can
at
follow him.
Ozo1Naija. That's my personal social
On
media
all social
profile
media
on all
platforms.
social media platforms, and Abuja Facts on all social media
Follow
platforms
this guy,
too.
especially on Snapchat. You see it here. See this
Ah,
guy's Snapchat.
chilling
is
gang.
always full. Chilling gang, beard gang, Abuja gang. So from us, it's till next time. All entrepreneurs, catch us later next week with another exciting interview with someone else that you might never expect. You might just be surprised to see someone you know or someone you don't know. So until next week.
Thumbs up to all entrepreneurs.
Bye.